Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, Medicare open enrollment is almost here. We'll update you on the latest options. Then, getting ready to retire? We'll coach you on how to score the most for your money as you head into the home stretch. The time to beat breast cancer is now. We'll find out if we're closer to winning this war. Plus, these violins represent more than music. We'll learn about the performers who played them and whose lives were lost during the Holocaust. And does your will stand the test of time? Take our test to find out.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Open enrollment for Medicare has just begun and will continue through December 7th. What does that mean for you? Let's ask Dr. Robert Reznicki. Dr. Reznicki is the Chief Medical Officer at Medical Mutual of Ohio. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much, Lori.
So first, what is Medicare open enrollment?
Sure. Well, you know, when you're very young, Halloween comes in October, and so you're all excited about that. Well, as you get older, you might not be so concerned about Halloween, but you do need to think about open enrollment, which is the period where plans change, and all the Medicare plans can change their costs and their coverage, their pharmacies and their physicians. And so you need to pay attention to that. The other moving target is maybe things are changing for your health care and your needs too. So you do need to pay particular attention that time of year for Medicare.
Okay, so how do you know if you need to change your plan or if your existing plan is still fine for you?
One of the things is that the devil is in the details, and you will get information coming in the mail that may say that your coverage is changing or your eligibility for coverage is changing, and you can't duck these things. You do need to pay attention, and you need to look through those and make sure that the plan you have still fits your needs.
Okay, so it's reading all those papers with the fine print that nobody really wants to take a look at.
Absolutely.
All right, so what if we decide there is a need for a change? What then?
Yeah, if there's a need for a change, or even if you wonder if there's a change, then it's time to get down into the detail and learn about each of those plans. And Medical Mutual has a number of Medicare Advantage plans coming out. We have 5 coming out, and all of those have the same basic sorts of coverage, but on the other hand, they all have certain differences in them. They all cover your doctors and they cover your prescriptions, but they also provide some wellness benefits like silver sneakers, and they also have some dental coverage and some vision coverage. And so we're excited about all of those. But on the other hand, everybody is different, and so there may be some unique parts of each plan that are better for you.
Okay, and you mentioned Medicare Advantage. Are Medicare Advantage programs the same as Medicare?
Well, there are certain familiar portions, which is that it covers people over the age of 65. And President Lyndon Johnson wrote this into law in 1965, and so it has been with us a long time. But if you use the plain traditional Medicare, it will provide A coverage and B coverage for the hospitals and the doctors, but you won't have drug coverage as part of that. And so you do need to think about that if you have a lot of prescriptions. You do have a little bit more choice of doctors with the traditional, but you do get those extra benefits oftentimes with the Medicare Advantage programs.
Okay, and how about what should we consider when enrolling, especially time-wise?
Well, one of the things is you can't duck this. When it's time to enroll, if you ignore that, there can be some penalties for being late. But you do need to pay attention and learn about it. We use the almighty internet for many things, and it's very helpful here. But if you don't have that, maybe go to your senior center or community center. They'll have brochures. You can go to the library. There will be numbers that you can call Medicare and get something in print, which many of our seniors may prefer. So you just need to keep up with it, and learn about it, because you do need to know what you're signing up for to give yourself the best plan for your unique situation.
All right, great advice. So cost, coverage, prescriptions, and personal preferences all come into play when picking a Medicare plan. So follow Dr. Reznicki's advice and do your research so when you register, you'll get the right results. My thanks to Dr. Reznicki for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2015options, or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, put your retirement plans in place. But first, the novel we know as War and Peace did not always have this timeless title. Author Leo Tolstoy's first wording was, well, a bit weak. Do you know the original option for the name of this famous fiction? We'll share the ending of this story when we return.
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Before Tolstoy rewrote the title to his timeless tome, War and Peace, this novel was to be named All's Well That Ends Well. And his rewriting didn't end with changing this beginning. Tolstoy manufactured at least 7 manuscripts before approving its final publication.
You've been in the game of working for a living for a long time, and you've scored enough savings to last for the rest of your life. Or have you? As you head into the home stretch towards retirement, be sure you've tagged all of your bases. Here to help coach you through this last inning is Jim Lineweaver. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I bet we're talking about a lot different investment strategies than when we were rookies in the working world, right?
Exactly, yes. And you still want to try to get a home run, but you want to do it much more conservatively. So when you're looking at things like your 401k, which is usually people's largest retirement asset as they make that transition into retirement, you really have to be careful because sometimes there's not a lot of investment options. And when you try to scale back the risk in a potentially rising interest rate environment, you might go towards fixed income or bonds, but you could also lose money. So if you're going to try to take a more conservative posture there, try to shorten the duration of your bonds, maybe short-term or intermediate term. I wouldn't go out to any long-term bonds. And actually, a lot of 401ks, they actually have a stable value fund inside there.
Okay.
You only may get 2 or 3%, but you're not going to lose money if interest rates go up.
If that risk is not there.
And you obviously want to get more conservative towards things like that the closer you get to retirement.
Okay, so now what about people who still have a pension? Now I hear that some companies are doing something called offering like a lump sum buyout or something. Is that a good idea?
Well, it can be, because a lot of companies want to get this long-term obligation off of their books, and they're willing to offer you a lump sum. Now it can be rolled over to a self-directed IRA, so you don't have to pay taxes on it immediately. You can pay taxes as you're taking it out, but you really got to be careful because, you know, what's the viability or the strength behind that company that's issuing that pension? Is there any questions there? There's also a pension benefit guaranteed corporation that things can fall back on, but you really want to make sure the companies sell it too. You also want to look at what type of income are they going to be paying you. Do you even need it right now? Because also what happens is if you have other sources from Social Security and other investments, you might be able to roll that to a self-directed IRA, have it grow tax deferred until you need some of the money, and also guess what? That if you never use it, it could be passed on to the kids, where a lot of pensions will only be for you and your wife. They will not extend over to the kids.
Okay, so it could be a good idea, right? Now, as people approach retirement age, is there a concern that you might spend too much money too soon and run out?
Yes, there is. As a matter of fact, as you're getting close to retirement, you know, you got those empty nesters and the kids are in college and everything, and they're gone, and now you have some extra money. You don't want to just go out and blow it and take it from your future retirement. So what you want to do is be prudent about that. And the government's actually set up some bylaws for you, or some things that you can take advantage of, because you can actually put away up to $18,000. But for those people that are over age 50, which most empty nesters are, you can get all the way up to $24,000. So you want to make sure you're maxing out those 401k contributions for yourself. And that can really help you to try to make sure you're doing that catch up for retirement so you can have most put away.
Okay. Any other suggestions for those soon-to-be retired people?
Yeah, you should really probably try to see a professional, maybe like a certified financial planner, because you have to coordinate your financial, tax, legal, and insurance issues. You also got to deal with health care, which is a huge expense in retirement.
It can be.
So you really got to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's at every step of the way in this huge transition that people make.
All right, that's great advice. No matter how much time you have till retirement, it's time to get your money growing. To learn more, attend one of Jim's seminars or give him a call. His number's next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, conquering breast cancer. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Want to craft a new career? Learn to love your later in life lifestyle? Discover plenty of possibilities through the programs and people that are a part of Encore Neo Expo 2015. This event is for those who want to make the most of their second half of life and will take place Wednesday, October 21st from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. in Chesterland. To discover the details and to register for free admission, visit www.encoreneo.org or call 440-533-1002.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which means you've probably seen a lot of pink to promote it. And that pink packs a punch. Still, even with all of this pink promotion, many don't have a plan to detect the disease, and early detection is crucial to long-term survival. Here to explain is Dr. Jill Sheeta. Dr. Sheeta is in the radiology department at the Breast Center at Metro Health. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So how important really is early detection?
It's really important. If you catch breast cancer in the early stage when it's still localized, the relative survival rate is almost 100%. So it's really important.
Wow, I see it. It's really, really important. Yes. So what should we be doing to try to detect it early?
So there are several things that you can do. So some of them being mammography and clinical breast exam and self-breast exam. So for mammography, there are some varying reports, but really the best thing and what you should be doing is having an annual mammogram every year starting at the age of 40. So every year, just go in and have your mammogram. As far as clinical breast exam goes, for women in their 20s and 30s, they should have a clinical breast exam every 3 years. Once you reach 40, then you should have that clinical breast exam every year. And that's usually done by your primary care physician or by your OBGYN. And as far as self-breast exams go, ideally that's done once a month. If someone is still having their periods, then they should do it on the week after the first day of their last menstrual period. If they're postmenopausal, then usually it's best just to pick, say, the first day of the month or something and just be very consistent with that. Okay. And what you're doing is feeling for any lumps, bumps, any changes in your breast. And you also want to look at your breast and see is there any skin thickening, skin dimpling, any changes along those lines.
Okay, and you know, technology keeps on getting better and better. So has the technology changed with regard to mammograms and breast cancer detection?
Yes, we're very fortunate because it's actually advanced quite a bit. And at Metro Health Medical Center, we're very lucky because we not only have traditional 2D mammography, we also have tomosynthesis, which is 3D mammography. And with that, we can look at the breast in additional ways, and we can find breast cancers that are
we're looking at
easily.
The difference between 2D and 3D.
Yes, exactly. So that helps a lot with finding breast cancer. If patients have dense breasts, so if they're heterogeneously dense or extremely dense, we also can offer them an automated breast ultrasound screening exam, which gives us additional ways to check for breast cancer. If they're high risk, then they may even qualify for a screening breast MRI every year. And if patients are high risk, sometimes they even qualify for beginning annual screening mammography prior to the age of 40 too, 40 years old rather. So if we do see something on the mammogram that we want to work up further, then we usually end up doing diagnostic mammography or ultrasound. If there are some abnormalities that we see, then we oftentimes will do a biopsy at that point. So.
Okay. So what's the biggest misconception about breast cancer detection?
Currently, probably that women should not have an annual screening mammogram at 40. It's really, really, really important that once you reach 40, you have that mammogram every year.
Okay. And the information given us is great, but people always have questions, and, you know, and we can't answer those on the show, really. So you're doing something to help those people get their questions answered, right?
We are. So on Wednesday, October 28th, beginning at 6:30 p.m., we're going to have a live chat, and people can ask us questions live. So if you log on to www.metrohealth.org/live-chat, then just type in your question, and we can go ahead and answer it for you.
That's fantastic.
Yes,
From the convenience of your own home. You don't have to go to the doctor. So, and this is important enough to have that. So
Absolutely.
The battle against breast cancer begins with the all-important screenings, because early detection is your best chance of 100% cure. For more information, tune into the online chat.
Absolutely.
Or call Dr. Sheeta here for more information. The number's coming up.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Next, Instruments of Hope. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to work the lower abdominals and even the hip flexors. This is an excellent exercise. It's going to help strengthen that core everybody's talking about. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to start lying flat on the ground. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats out. You at home, go ahead, grab a spot on the floor and try this one out. We're going to lay flat. Make sure you keep your head back. We want our hands to the side just for a little support. And all we're going to do is we're going to keep our right leg nice and stiff, and we're going to bring it up to about a 90-degree angle, okay? We're going to drop it back down. Right before it touches, try to bring it straight back up. All right, we're going to shoot for 12 to 15 repetitions, and then we can go ahead and switch sides. Excellent. How you feeling, Lori?
Oh, feel the burn.
There
Stretch.
you go.
Yes.
You're on your way to a stronger core. All right, slow and controlled movements, everybody. Remember to breathe. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
We know how important it is to share the stories of those lost in the Holocaust so they can be honored and remembered. And now there is a unique exhibit that brings personal stories to life by way of restored musical instruments. Appropriately called Violins of Hope, the exhibit is currently on display at the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage. Ellen Rudolph, the museum's executive director, is here to give us a preview. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what are Violins of Hope?
Violins of Hope are instruments that survived the Holocaust and have been restored to concert quality by Israeli master violin maker Amnon Weinstein. Weinstein lost many relatives, hundreds of relatives in the Holocaust, and he dedicates the work that he does to the family members he never knew.
So he's restored how many violins?
He has, his collection has around 60 violins. Wow. We have 19 of them on display at the Maltz Museum. 18 of them are from Amnon's collection, and one is making its American debut from Yad Vashem, which is the World Center for Holocaust Education and Research.
Okay, so you've got a nice selection. And these violins aren't just on display for people to see, they're actually going to be played, is that right?
Right. We will actually be taking the violins out of the cases, and musicians from the Cleveland Institute of Music and the Baldwin Wallace Conservatory of Music will be playing them at various times throughout the run of the exhibition. So people will have the chance to actually connect with the people who originally owned them.
And hear what it must have sounded like many, many years ago when the original owners were playing them. That's
exactly.
Just, so they're going to be at the museum doing this, or is it around town?
Yes, well, the musicians will be playing the instruments at the museum in our galleries, but there are also many, many concerts around town throughout Northeast Ohio. We are working with 7 cultural partners as part of Violins of Hope, educational and cultural institutions, and all of those partners have a great deal of programming.
Excellent, excellent. So there's stories behind some of the instruments, right? Can you tell us a few of the stories?
Sure. Well, there's one violin that came from Auschwitz and was played by a gentleman in the men's orchestra there, and he was part of a sanctioned orchestra that played during, while work details marched in and out of camps. and welcomed people as they were coming off the trains and arriving at the concentration camps.
They actually had orchestras.
They really did. It's pretty amazing.
That's amazing. And there was somebody else who was playing, what, in a cafe or something in town? What was that?
There's another incredible story of a very young man, about 12 or 14 years old, who had joined a band of partisans who attempted to fight the Nazis. He was hired by the Nazis to entertain them in one of their soldiers' clubs. And what he would do each night, instead of taking his violin home with him, he would hide the violin in the club, take the case with him, fill it with explosives, and stockpiled explosives in the club. And then when there was a meeting of high-ranking Nazi officials, he blew the building up with the Nazis inside of it.
That took guts.
Yes.
For somebody that young. And the exhibit is unique not only for its content, but also the display in the museum. So tell us about that. I think we got some pictures of that too.
Yes, it's an original exhibition that the Maltz Museum created, and it's a very immersive exhibition that features music and mural-sized imagery, of course the violins themselves, and the violins are housed in these kinds of structures that are made with string to evoke the violin.
Oh, okay.
So there are also videos that we created. We spoke to orchestra musicians after they played the violins in the concert here in Cleveland. So it's you get to really connect with the music and the instruments themselves.
So quickly, what's the one thing you hope people take away from the exhibit?
I hope people will get a sense of the transcendent power of music and how it really served to save people's lives during the Holocaust.
That's right, that's true. Personal stories, the art of the instruments themselves, and the beauty of the music they create make Violins of Hope a profoundly moving exhibit. It's on display at the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage through January 3rd. My thanks to Ellen for sharing a bit of the exhibition with us here today.
Learn more by calling the Maltz Museum of Jewish Heritage at 216-593-0575 or visit www.maltzmuseum.org. Next, is your estate up to date?
Here at Metro Health, you know you matter when it matters most. Here, we are the city's best at preparing for the world's worst. Here, we are the only verified burn center in Ohio for adults and children. Here, you'll find exceptional clinicians with extraordinary hearts. So the work we do here at Metro Health makes an impact here, out here, and right here. Metro Health, we're here for you, for all of you.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to make sure your will is done your way. Once and done. That's what a lot of people like to think when they're planning their estate. And after all, who wants to think about aging, illness, and death? But when it comes to important issues like this, we can't stick our heads in the sand. It's important to update our estate plan from time to time. My law partner, Mike Solomon, is here today to give us the top 5 questions for you to ask yourself to figure out if it's time to update your will or even the rest of your estate planning documents. So, Mike, let's start out. What's the first question we should ask?
Well, the first one you should probably ask is, with your will, who's your executor? Because if you've done your will a long time ago, maybe the executor's passed away or they've gotten older and they don't want to handle all the administration. So it's very, very important, because that's the person who's going to administer your estate if you when you pass away.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. Your second question kind of piggybacks off the first, right?
Right. This is dealing with your durable power of attorney. And the question to ask is that person you've named your power, is that the person you want to be your power holder? And again, whether the person is alive or they're competent, they may be too old, they don't want to handle it. This is a really important document because this is the person you've named who's going to be able to handle your financial affairs. So look at the name you have there, go over it every now and then, make sure it's someone you still want to have that power.
Okay, so we've dealt with the executor, we've dealt with a power of attorney. I'm guessing the next question might deal with beneficiaries.
That's right. So dealing with your will, who you've bequeathed all your assets to. Again, over time that may change. You may have named someone who's passed away, or maybe the person's no longer in your life. You don't really want them to receive any of the money. So you want to check that out, make sure you've named the right people. You may have gotten a divorce, for example. Same thing with all your beneficiary forms. Make sure that you update them, that the people who you've named are the people you want to get all your assets.
Today, not back when.
That's
so,
right.
Question 4 deals with aspects of your estate planning, a little bit different point of view.
Well, you know, another very important document, a lifetime document, is a healthcare power of attorney. Who have you named on your power? Again, over time, people change. You know, they've named people that you know are no longer around, not involved in their day-to-day activities. Maybe they had young children, and now they've grown up, and they want to name them as their healthcare power of attorney. So, very important document. Who's going to make your lifetime medical decisions if you're incompetent?
Okay, quickly, tax law changes.
Well, the tax laws changes tremendously. There's a lot of changes that have happened. Your estate planning documents may have been drafted to save estate taxes, not relevant anymore for most people, but it's made it much more complicated. So take a look at it and see if you can simplify your documents.
All righty. So these are great questions, Mike. The illness, death, marriage, divorce of a family member or an executor or a trustee means it's probably time to update your will and overall estate plan. Other considerations that could affect your planning include changes in distribution or goals, changes in your health, and tax law changes. So this fall, take out your old documents, shake off the dust, and see if they need some updating. And for help, give Mike a call. His number's next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll show you how you can fight online fraud. Take note of our technology tips. Then, where are they now? We'll check in on a couple who had a mouth makeover years ago and see if they're still smiling. And not ready to retire? We'll offer opportunities to reimagine your employment. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.